Before we start the session, I would like to check attendance and your connection one by one. So I will start with Brunei Darussalam. Good morning, a colleague from Brunei Darussalam. I think I received a registration from Mr. Adib, Ms. Nabihah, and Ms. Nur Akilah. So can you hear me clearly?
Morning.
Morning. Is it clear, the connection?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you. Now, I will move on to Cambodia. Good morning, colleague from Cambodia.
Good morning.
Good
morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's clear.
Good morning. You hear me clear?
Yes, it's very clear. So, how about from your side? Can you see me and hear me clearly?
Yes, very clear.
Okay, thank you. Do we have another colleague from Cambodia?
Yes, we have three, Mr. Samoni and Mr. Poksoria.
Okay, thank you. Now, let's move on to Indonesia, our presenter today. Good morning, all colleagues from Indonesia.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's clear. Good morning, Pastia.
Good morning. Dia, maybe you can check.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's very
Okay,
clear.
thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. So, from BPS team, already complete, Pak? Sorry, you still muted.
One more to Anna.
Oh, okay. We're still waiting for one more presenter. Okay, now I would like to move on to Lau PDR. Good morning, Lau PDR. I think we have Oli here. Not yet. Okay, let's move on to Myanmar. Good morning. Miss Nyang Tai, are you here already? I don't think so. All right, now I would like to move on to Philippines. Good morning, a colleague from Philippines.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Is the audio and the video clear? Hello? Okay, so trying to connect. Okay, now let's move on to Singapore. Good morning, SD.
Hi, good morning, honey. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's very clear.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now let's move on to Vietnam. Hi, Lynn.
Yes, good morning, honey. Good morning, everyone.
So everything's clear, right?
Yes, very clear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, according to the agenda, we will start the session at 9:15. So we still have 5 minutes to wait more participants to join the event. Do we have a colleague from Myanmar already here?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning,
Yes.
Myanmar. And I see colleague from Malaysia also.
Yes, I'm SDG from Malaysia.
Okay, thank you. So, Pak Setia, how about the team from BPS?
Shall we write or shall we wait for other participants? Miss Hani? Can we start?
Is everyone already here?
Yes, Anna, you're there. Our team is me and Dia, Dewi, and Anna.
Anna is already here, but she have a problem with her camera. So
Okay, but
yeah.
at least her voice. Nah,
Yes, okay. Anna,
please
can
check.
you please check?
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Morning, Anna. Thanks. Ready? We are ready, Pak Anna. Ready to go.
Okay, then I think we can start the session now.
Thank you, Hanik. Thank you, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to our sharing session on using of big data for to support SDG data collection. This activities is part of our ASEAN framework activities under working group on SDGI. First of all, we would like to thank BPS team, BPS-Statistics Indonesia, for their continued support extended to us on the big data initiatives. Before this activity, we have a series of workshops as well on big data for the working group on data dissemination. And this time we will have for a working group on SDGI. Before we move to our first agenda, I would like to invite Pak Anang Laksono, our Head of ASEAN Statistics Division of the ASEAN Secretariat, to deliver his opening remarks. Pak Anang.
Thank you, Warda. Good morning, WG SDGI members. Good morning, Pak Setia Pramana and BPS team. Yeah, as Warda has been mentioned just now, that this activity is part of ASEAN framework for statistical capacity building in ASEAN. And for your information, WG SDGI members, that ASEAN Community Statistical System actually are in the view on the importance of utilization of big data for enhancing official statistics. And this year we have started to implement what we call a pilot project in utilizing big data. And thank you for Indonesia and Malaysia to be lead countries under this initiative. And following the successful, I would say successful initiative so far, starting last year with capacity building activities and with the implementation of pilot project this year, we would like to spread out this initiative to other working groups. And this working group would be the first time to discuss big data. And again, thank you very much to BPS-Statistics Indonesia, Pak Setia Pramana and team, to be the resource person once again to share your knowledge, your experience, and hopefully other colleagues here can absorb the knowledge and gain the relevant experience to be implemented in their own countries. And for your information, Pak Setia Pramana and team, out of 17 goals in global SDG with 169 target with 232 unique indicators. Currently, this working group on SDG indicators had agreed for ASEAN member states to collect 111 unique indicators out of 232 in global SDG indicators, with 176 sub-indicators. So with this huge number of indicators, we face many challenges, of course, particularly in data collection, because as you know, it is very, very difficult to always make a new survey for every single new data needs, because of limited budget, limited human resources, limited technological resources, etc. So we need to see some alternatives, some alternative data sources. Previously, we have discussed about administrative data. Yes, the administrative data is there in the line ministries with some issues also, but currently with the evolving data which is available in the internet and in many places, then the discussion on big data become more relevant recently, and that's why today Pak Setia Pramana and team, we would like this working group on SDG to have some knowledge, to have some additional skills based on BPS experience and on how to utilize big data for official statistics, particularly for supporting SDG monitoring. So I hope the discussion today will be very, very useful for all of us. So again, thank you very much to BPS, and also thank you very much for all participants. Hopefully we can have fruitful discussion and all of you can have active contribution throughout this discussion today. So thank you very much. Please stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you. Back to you, Warda.
Thank you for the opening from Pak Anang. Next, we will have a group photo first. Hanik, please. Hanik, you are still muted, Hanik.
Yeah, we would like to request all participants to turn on the camera just for photo groups, and please show your best smile if you're not wearing a mask. Okay, we will wait a little. Is everyone ready? Okay, I have a 2-page, so I will take 2 times. Okay, on my count. First take. 1, 2, 3. Now, second take. On my count. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Now back to you, Warda.
Thank you, Hanik, and thank you, everyone. Without further ado, I will pass to our colleague from BPS. I think it will be started from Pak Setia.
All right. Thank you, Bu Warda. Can you hear my voice here? Sorry if I have a bit background here. Could you please confirm that you can hear
Actually,
me?
I can hear your voice, but the sound is kind of from far away.
I don't know. Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Better.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning for everybody. It's good. It's very good pleasure and also very honorable for us to be part of this team. And thank you very much for ASEANstats for inviting us again and keep collaborating for us for big data development, especially right now for SDGs monitoring. I hope everybody can hear my voice clearly. For the next 2 hours, we will briefly explain or discuss and also share what we have done so far for big data, especially later we can focus on SDGs implementations. Anna, can you share the screen, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Pak Anang. Thank you, Bu Hanik and Bu Arda for the invitations. So this is big data and sustainable development goals. And then next, okay. The one who present will be 4 of us, which actually it is representing the team. So just to show that when we implement big data, you cannot just directly implement that solely alone. So usually we have to develop team. So me myself, I'm Setia from BPS-Statistics Indonesia. Currently also I'm a lecturer in Polytechnic Statistics STS, which actually educational institution of BPS, and the graduates will get directly to be part of the BPS. And currently now I'm also like the team lead. Also, the next speaker will be led by Mbak Anna Layatofitria, the one who just share screen. She is part of the data analytics team. And then later, the third speaker will be Mbak Dewi Krismawati. She is the expert on data engineering. Actually, she is the data engineering team lead. Data engineering team is the one that collect, managing the data acquisition, collecting data, and also the data reprocessing, etc. So she will present all about that topics, from how to get the data, what type of data, and how to process, and how to save, store the data itself. And later, okay, Mbak Diarnika Larasati, she is a big data team analytics team lead. Yeah, she's after the data has been collected and also been prepared by the engineer, then later been analyzed and also been disseminated into different case or into different applications by a team of Mbak. Okay, next. I think Anna already mentioned about this. We have SDGs goals. We have 17 goals and then 169 targets. And then these targets is challenging for all of us, right? Because out of next, Anna, next please. Yeah. So we have 169 targets, and all of these targets, there are several indicators, right? So the problem or the challenge on monitoring these targets and goals actually how to get the indicator of these targets and also goals. Next, please. So as mentioned by Pak Anang, I think it's the same challenges for ASEAN countries. Like we have different indicators, like we have 289 indicators should be ready for SDGs monitoring, which actually for Indonesian case, we have it from BPS-Statistics Indonesia. So we get these indicators from ministries of government institutions. And then out of these indicators, global and proxy indicators, we have around 176 from governments and 70 from BPS, and also the rest come from BPS and also other institutional. So usually from BPS, we get the data from census or survey, also from ministers or government institutions. We can have it from administrative data and also from other like measurements. The problem, the challenges for survey and census that because of several main surveys such as Sakernas Susenas are designed to provide estimates at the district level as high demands from local government. So that's the challenges, right? We sometimes we can have it only for province level or region level. So, and also the number of SDG indicators produced, they have a relatively high standard error for that particular local demand. Next, please. Okay, so if we don't have the data is not available, yeah, for example, not available either from BPS or from prime ministers, we can have it survey around the data. But if not available, we can conduct new survey, but that's going to be very costly. And right now, also survey, we have hundreds of survey in Indonesia only from BPS. If we create another one or another other surveys, that going to be challenging in terms of cost, and also that's going to be we can also create new questions into current survey. That's also adding additional cost. So if it's not available, we can use big data, big data, which actually not only if you look at on the right plot there, we can have traditional approach. We can have the data from census and survey for vital statistic. Also, we can have other data from ministers or from international organization, or we can have also from other alternative data or non-traditional data sources, such as Earth observations, spatial data infrastructures, citizen-generated data, or something crowdsourcing, could be from citizen social media, wearables, technology, etc. From sensor networks, visual sensor networks, let's say from you have like temperature station, also hydrological station, etc. Also data from commercial data, it could be from mobile phone data, financial transaction data, etc. So this non-traditional data can fill in the gap of data indicators, the data available currently based on the census or survey. And also this traditional data, non-traditional data, alternative data sources, not only can fill in the gap, but also can provide more granular data or more granular statistic in terms of location, also in terms of the time. You can have maybe a monthly data or weekly data. Also, you can have in more detail into like district or sub-district, or also into villages. Next, please. Okay. So I think I will briefly overview about big data or data that's quite large, right? You know that every day we are facing about data, we are producing data, billions of data, and this data right now because of digitalization, especially when we have COVID, it enhanced the digitalization adoption across the world, especially in Asia. It's almost, let's say, they said almost 10 times as we don't have COVID before. So within that, the adoption of digitalization is quite high in ASEAN countries. This also lead data production will be very huge, and also in the same time will be very demanding to analyze the data and also to use that for public use. Next, please. So the data, big data itself actually have several characteristics. One, four main characteristic is the volume. So the volume of the data is quite high. So why the volume of data? Because it is produced quite often. It could be every second, every millisecond, sometimes every week, etc. Because of the several activities, let's say the events or social media, let's say, or clicks and other search engine, something. The volume is so high and so large there. And also right now, when we say data is not only necessary about the in terms of numbers, but also can be in terms of pictures, in terms of images, or videos, of movements. So this variety of data can be also into three different types: structures and unstructured and semi-structured. And also the velocity of the data, the speed of generation of data is so high. So yeah, every millisecond, everybody will post on YouTube. Every milliseconds, they do tweets, and also there are a lot of people doing searching, also transaction in terms of milli and also very milli nanoseconds. And this also can lead to the same thing when you get the data really quick, which means that the rate of analysis also should be done in a glance, in very quick time. Because right now, everybody needs information, it needs the analysis of the data, not 1 or 2 hours, but also maybe minutes. So you get the data right now, you get the analysis also right now. So this is another challenge for national statistics offices such as BPS, also other institutions, ASEAN, that right now people now need the data. It's not like monthly or weekly or quarterly, right? Usually, traditional approach, we only publish data yearly, right? So, or weekly, or monthly, or semester, annual, be annually. But now they need it as soon as possible. So once the data comes big and also quite big variations, they also the analysis should be done very quick. So this is another challenge for us to provide the data as soon as possible and as good as it is. And the thing is that the veracity, the assertiveness of the data that when we mention big data, doesn't mean all the data is correct, all the data can be used directly, because there are a lot of fake information, there are a lot of artifacts there are a lot of I said noises from the data. So it is a challenge that to make sure the data that we collected before the analysis should be cleansed, and also to be make sure the quality is good. Because the data, the assertiveness of data is quite high. Again, that depends on the source of data. So it's uncleansed and uncrushed. Next. Okay. There are several types of big data sources. First is access data. This is data that possibly collected from people using digital services such as mobile phone, financial transactions, or research, and also sensing data from sensors or from smart cities or portable devices, and also could be like the remote sensing or and also satellite images. And the third one is digital content. This is the data produced, also posted in the digital platform. It could be online, let's say media, social media, news articles, blogs, and also other information. It could be also digital content in the platform of local. Let's say you have reported in your local information, local website or local system. Versus like health information system only for government or only for the hospital. So this type of data actually again we see that have different characteristics. As of data, sometimes we need collaboration with the owner of the data, because mostly this data, financial transaction, mobile phone owned or located by mobile operator or banks, let's say. But the same also with sensing data. Some sensing data are available freely. Let's say satellite images, we can download it for several websites. Also, in the high resolution data, you should also collaborate with the data, the institution that have the data. For Indonesia, we have Badan Informasi Geospasial, or also BRIN research agency, who own the data. Also, we can discuss, and also we can collaborate with the data from, let's say, hospital or research center that own the wearable medical devices. But for digital content, most of digital content available freely. You can get it directly from online, from websites. But some also you need to have some partnership or collaboration with the data. Next. Yes, these are types of the data, as I mentioned before. The first two, exhaust data and things data, actually this measuring what people do. So showing what people are doing during particular time or the particular region areas. But digital content mostly this representing what people say. They can mention anything through the social media, also from social sourcing and etc. Next, yes. Right now, big data is being used and also studied to be later to be used for official statistic developments, especially for statistical indicators. If you look at the left the left plot here, these are countries and organizations, and in the middle are data sources, and the right part is actually statistical indicator. So, for example, England, sorry, that's in England or England, English, actually use, let's say, scrap data or mobile phone data for mobility statistics or tourism statistics. For example, Chinese, Tiongkok use phone data for indicator economic, and then for number of population during daytime and etc. And UNICEF using satellite images, Citra satellite for indicator of child poverty, etc. Together with our team and BPS. So a lot of cases, a lot of studies been done to show that actually these alternative data can be utilized to maybe to bullet new indicators or to support the indicators that have been developed by using traditional approaches. Next. Okay, so that's I think my part. Later with Anna will discuss about the big data monitoring for SDGs based on several cases, and then later Dewi will present about the data acquisition of pre-processing, and will be closed by Budiar to present about the data analytics. So I give floor to Anna. Anna, floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Satya. Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Anna from Big Data Analysis Team in BPS-Statistics Indonesia. So in this session, I will continue present the next material about the example of the use of big data for monitoring the SDGs indicators. So there are examples of countries in many research that use big data source for the global SDGs monitoring framework. As we see here, big data source such as mobile phone data, satellite data, search engine data, online price data, or Earth observation data can directly or indirectly support the completion of SDGs indicators. For example, a research project conducted in Malawi, Nigeria, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Uganda. They combining satellite image and machine learning to predict poverty to monitoring the SDGs indicator on goal number 1. Sorry, I think there is a problem with my touch screen.
Sorry, Mbak Ana, I think you still muted.
Yes, sorry, I think there's problem with my touch screen. I cannot next slide.
Or do you want Secretariat to share your presentation?
I will share the file in the chat box. Maybe Secretariat can help to share the screen. Wait a minute.
Maybe while we are waiting, there is one question in the chat box to Pak Setia's presentation.
Okay, can I answer that, Mbak Ani?
Yes,
Serius.
please, Pak
Which
Setia.
type of indicator has been collected for smart cities in Indonesia? Okay. Could you share type of indicators that have been collected? Oh, which one is which again are important? Oh, you mean in the plot, in the graph that articles that they use that. If that is the question, I can share with you the data or the articles stating which area, especially in South Korea, they use the data for mobility checking, for getting the mobility, and also the number of population during daytime. They use that. So they also try to investigate or to see which area that actually need public transportation during the night. Our BPS also have collaboration with GIK. Later, we use mobile phone. We put apps to mobile phone, and so we collected daily traveling during several weeks. And based on that data, we can see which area that have actually congestions because of the traffic, and also areas that actually people are moving from one side to another side that need public transportation. We have also called CUTP, Jakarta Urban Transportation Project, phase 1, phase 2. Based on this information, we the local Jakarta government develop LRT that's answering the needs of people based on these data sets. I think that's one of things that I can answer the question of Mr. Kamarudin. Maybe Anak, you can continue, Anak. Can you please? Gimana dia? Or Dewi?
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry for the problem. I will continue to contain material that the terms of the data for monitoring the SDG indicators. So here, for example, the country There in many research that use the data for global SDG monitoring framework. So, for example, a research project that conducted in Malawi, Nigeria, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Uganda. They combine satellite imagery and machine learning to predict to monitoring the SDGs indicator on software. And next, the other example is there is UN project that estimating food consumption and poverty index with data from mobile phones. So the measures taken from the call record and the process of action credits were compared with the result of a national household survey that conducted at the same time. And the results show a high correlation between the certified sulfur indicator data and some relevant food safety variables such as exercise or vegetable consumption. And other research projects in Finland, they use Google search to predict the unemployment. So this study uses Google search data because it is available in real time. And the simple first order automated model, which includes the relevant Google variables, can output the model that uses this to store in the short term. Next, there is online price data that can be used to measure information for monitoring indicator 2.3.1. And then make a sample. The PC Bureau of Statistics starts with sentinel data to estimate indicators that related to forest cover, urban area, and change in agricultural land use, where this can support monitoring of the SDG indicator 16.1.1 and 11.3.1. Next slide, please. And next, related to indicator 2.1. The new article also can be used for monitoring food security issues. And other example, a research in Canada.
Excuse me, Mbak Anna, apologize. Actually, I really cannot clearly hear you.
Hello? Check, is that clear enough? Hello?
Can you try again to speak?
Hello, check. Is it clear enough?
Better. Please continue.
Okay, thank you. So the other example, there is a research in Canada that use Google Trends to provide publicly accessible information about people's browsing behavior, which can be studied and used for health campaign evaluation and business monitoring. So the study proves that business patterns significantly correlated with online activity in the following phase. There are HIV infection, stroke, colorectal cancer, and marijuana use. And next, Landsat and Sentinel imagery also potential can be used for monitoring access to public transportation, which is related with indicator 11.2.1 and also indicator 11.3.1 land consumption ratio, urban open space, and rural access index that related with indicator 9.1.1. And there is other research at combining remote sensing data and citizen generated data to support marine debris monitoring that is related with indicator 14.1b. And next slide, please. Next, it's about potential utilization of big data for monitoring SDGs indicator in BPS-Statistics Indonesia. That there's all data that currently has been collected and potential to support monitoring the SDGs indicator. Next slide, please. First is mobile phone data. Big data such as mobile data and satellite data can be used to infer the socio-economic status that can infer the socio-economic status of population, enabling authorities to identify pockets of poverty that at more granular levels and at more frequent intervals. Thus, insight derived from big data search can fit into the achievement of target 1.1 and 1.2. And mobile phone data also have the potential to facilitate financial inclusion by helping to access the credit awareness of the unbanked. And mobile phone data also can contribute towards indicator 1.5.1, which is multi-purpose indicator, which includes other SDGs indicator. Also, mobile phone data may not able to directly measure this indicator. It can help to contribute towards the measurement by helping identify the movement of people after the disaster. Next, for monitoring target 2.1, mobile phone data can be used as a proxy indicator for food expenditure. That recent studies have found a high correlation between the purchase of urgent credit and survey results for several food items. And next, related to goal 3, the analysis of mobile phone data can contribute to the achievement of target 3.3 by helping to understand the mobility from region of disaster outbreak, search engine of disease, and disease importation rate. Numerous studies have leveraged mobility variables verified from mobile phone data to understand the spread of disease such as malaria, Ebola, rubella, and cholera. And next, for monitoring possible targets for forensics, mobile phone data can be used for predict areas with low literacy. Research by Sunsoy at 2015 developed a machine learning algorithm to predict literacy by analyzing mobile phone data records in a developing country in Asia to derive indicators for mobile phone data that could reflect the socioeconomic and mobility pattern of the user. And next, mobile phone data also can help to monitor indicator 5.1. There some studies have utilized mobile phone data and machine learning to derive mobile phone users' gender based on their phone usage on indicators that include average delay in response and the range of duration. Next slide, please. Next, for SDG 9, mobile phone data which can be used to estimate mobility patterns also can contribute towards urban planning. So big data search can help understand patterns of road usage, pocket of congestion, and generally determine mobility patterns of population. And next, for monitoring SDG 10, mobile phone data which can be leveraged to access the socio-economic status of population at general levels also can contribute towards identifying the bottom 40% of population, enabling government to provide target assistance to promote income growth, helping to achieve target 10.1 and a portion of 10.2 that focus on economic inclusion. And mobile phone data also potential to analyze human mobility after disaster in order to monitor the indicator 11.5 and 13.1. Next slide, please. The next potential data is satellite data. Has a number of studies that leverage satellite data for poverty estimating, cut across key features that include nightmare and daytime imagery, regional and national data, period of observation as well as the resolution of image, among others. And for example, research by Outreach, they developed a poverty mapping by utilizing poverty index calculated using a population count and brightness of nighttime light as observed through satellite image. Next, related to goal 2, satellite data analysis could have determined positivity and the extent of just growth in real time, as well as support the estimation of crop production. So there are many studies that have been conducted on the use of remote sensing technology for detecting drought conditions. Satellite data can also be used to estimate crop yield. So the analysis of the data can provide insights on food security that could be vital when serving population in vulnerable situations. And then related to goal number 6, satellite data can be used to estimate change in extent of freshwater system. So there have been numerous studies that have helped to map change in surface water using various techniques using remote sensing data. And then satellite data also can be used to measure indicator 7.1.1. That big data can particularly useful in understanding electrification. So there have been a number of studies that use the national satellite data for various measures for social and economic indicators, including electrification rate. And next, related to goal number 8, satellite data can be used to develop safety indicators for economic development and can complement traditional indicators. The nighttime luminosity and instant, for instance, has been used as a proxy for economic development as a considerable with studies attempting to estimate GDP and subnational at GDP at a subnational level. And next, related to goal number 9, satellite data that combined with machine learning can help identify infrastructure such as roads and be leveraged to assess rural population assets. And related to goal 11, satellite data also potential for monitoring target 11.1 to identify some area. So there have been studies that conducted using satellite data that can be leveraged to access urban poverty by identifying the slum dwellings for helping identify households that need access to housing. And next, to measure target 13.2 industry. Satellite data can be used to provide early warning of the effect of climate change, such as change in water-related ecosystem and for growth monitoring. And last, related to goal 15, satellite data can be used to identify deforestation and change in vegetation. Satellite data has generally been used to assess change in forest cover across regions. So satellite data in that combining with other source of data could potentially be leveraged to measure some of indicator, especially for indicator 15.1.1. There is forest area as a proportion forest area as a proportion of total land area, and indicator number 15.3.1 proportion of land that is degraded over total land area. So monitoring land use in some of vegetation trends can be useful to ensuring that land is being used in a sustainable manner. Next slide, please. So next slide. Okay. Next, the other potential data for monitoring also is online price data that can be used for constructing consumer price index. So there are numerous research papers that collect online price data using web scraping software to construct daily price index that could contribute towards measuring or monitoring SDGs goals. And there is also search engine data. So the numerous studies show that the analysis of search engine data along with other relevant data search can be used to map spatial and geographical state of, for example, communicability, which in turn can be used for better risk management. And search engine data also can be used to identify the unemployment trend. Research by Xu et al. At 2013, they used a neural network and super factor regression to model the relationship between unemployment rate and search engine query data with data mining methods to forecast the unemployment trend. And last, there is satellite. There is remote sensing data. So satellite-based technology can be leveraged to identify temperature that is invaluable for the study and understanding urban settlement. In particular, precious number studies have leveraged remote sensing data to map the change in land cover or land use. Okay, I think that's all about the potential utilization of big data for monitoring SDGs indicator. And the next material will continue by Dewi.
Thank you, Anna. Hello, everyone. My name is Dewi. I will continue the presentation. Thanks to the opportunity to ASEANstats. So, as I mentioned above, that there are many indicators that can provide big data using big data to support the SDGs indicator. Once the SDGs indicators create, it's need flow a big flow from acquisition the data into analyze the data. So in this opportunity, I will tell you about, I will share about the big data flow. So in a BPS, there are many digital content that's scraped from different websites. So we make a staging server. There are a lot of scraper there and service to monitoring the job. And we save the data in a staging database. Once the data is saved in a staging database, then string the data to the data lake environment. In a data lake environment, we also doing the metadata adjudication. So data is saved in a Hadoop file system, and we doing processing and analytics using Spark, Hive, and another tools. Once the data clean, then we store it into data warehouse. And customers or users can access the data via website, data website, or dashboard. So there are several dissemination tools to access the data from big data. Next, please. This is the big data architecture in BPS. So on the left is data sources. As mentioned above, there are many data sources that we can acquire from social network as a human source information and traditional business system and Internet of Things. We collect the data and save it in a staging server. Then we stream the data into enterprise data lake. There are landing zone to save the raw material of the data. Then we doing some research to working to the data, such as data integration, data cleaning, data transformation, and we manipulate the data and store it into cold zone as a data that ready to be analyzed. This is raw and aggregation data. If the data is ready to be analyzed, the data is stored in a data warehouse, in the enterprise data warehouse. In a data warehouse, the data is clean and ready to be analyzed using data exploration or data modeling. Once the data is ready to disseminate, we store the data to data mart. And data mart is data that ready to consume to the user via different dissemination channels such as business intelligence to build the report, chart, drill down, visualization, prediction, or recommendation. Or the user also can get the data via data sharing. So we also provide API. So the external or internal system can also consume the data via API. Next, please. So this is the component of the big data architecture. To support the data, we need to support the flow of big data in the enterprise. We need the data governance. So the data governance, is provide what data to be acquired, who can access the data, or the mechanism how to disseminate the data, or any aspect of how data can be or can save or can disseminate in a BPS. And the second point thing that also can to be thing in a build the big data architecture is the security. So the security is connect from since data source to be acquisition and until data to be delivery to the customers. To manage the quality of the data, BPS also make a data master and reference management. Also, we complete the data with the metadata management system. So in a top level, we can acquisition the data via streaming or batch. Then we flow the data to the enterprise data lake, so everyone or big data team can process and analyze this. Then we deliver the data to the customers. Next, please. This is the IT infrastructure setup or tools to build the architecture big data. In a big data platform, we are using Hadoop or HDFS. In a status right now is ongoing configuration in a production environment, but we already built before in a development environment. Then we also built the crawling and staging environment using Apache Airflow and store the data, unstructured data in the MongoDB and the structured data in MySQL. Then for ETL2, we are using SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server, and IBM Data Stage. For the data warehouse, we are using Microsoft SQL Server and IBM DB2. Then the tool for visualization, we are using Power BI, Apache Superset, and Compact Insight. Next, please. This is the challenge of how we start to acquire the data. There are various formats of data in a big data, structured data and unstructured data. In a structured data, there are can be saved, can be displayed in a row, column, or saved in a relational database. The data type is numbers, date, or string. From the research done by Gartner said that estimate 20% of the enterprise data is in structured data. The structured data is require less storage and easy to manage and protect with legacy solution. On the other side, Gartner said that estimate 80% of the enterprise data is in unstructured data, such as image, audio, video, email, spreadsheet, or another word processing file. This cannot be displayed in a row or column and saved in a relational database. This is require more storage and more difficult to manage and protect with legacy solution. Next, please. In big data, we also meet the challenge about various data source. There are data from smartphone, computer, and another government corporation, such as camera, file, social media, Facebook, Twitter, or data from financial transaction or scanner data. Next, please. And then we when we meet the big data, we also challenge with various technology. Data for storage, to store data, HDFS or another technology for data mining, such as RapidMiner, Presto, or technology for analytics, such as Spark, R, Python, Kafka, NIME, and the technology for visualization, such as Tableau, Plotly, Power BI, and etc. Next, please. And in BPS, we already researched with these data sources, these big data sources. The first one is mobile positioning data or MPD. The data is obtained by making MOU with some provider in Indonesia. And the second sources is satellite image data. The medium and low resolution data is obtained by downloading free from the data provider platforms such as Google Earth Engine. And high and very high resolution data we are obtained by collaboration with the Indonesia Space Agency. The third data source is ICE or Automatic Identification System. The data is obtained by accessing through the UNGP platform. And the last one is data from website and social media. The data is obtained by doing web scraping to the set that relevant to our research. Next, please. This is the little introduction about mobile positioning data. When we access the mobile positioning data, there are two types of data. The first one is active positioning. The active mobile data is tracing mobile tracing data, which is location of the phone determined via a specific radio wave query. A particular environment and permission from the phone owner are necessary to inquire the whereabouts of the certain phone. The second is the passive positioning. The passive positioning mobile data is automatically stored in the log file, billing memory, handover between network cell, home location register of mobile operator known as call detail record. So in the BPS, we already make an MOU to acquisition the passive positioning of mobile positioning data. Next, please. And the connect or the access data is via data sandboxing. So the BPS developer access the sandboxing environment for mobile network operation for the operator in Indonesia through a virtual private network. And the left one is the algorithm, how we use the mobile positioning data to get the information about tourism activity. So there are a circular usual environment, home, office, and circular environment of each people. When people out are making a destination to out of the usual environment is called tourism. Next, please. So this is how we pre-process the data, big data processing method. The first one is data cleaning. The data cleaning is managing extreme value and noise, inputting the data and checking data consistency and fairness of data. The tools that we use is Python and Zeppelin. In data aggregation, we make an aggregation of data at certain level of description analysis purpose, such as province level or district level. The tools we use is Python, Power BI, and Zeppelin. And the third method is machine learning. This is the advanced big data processing for classification, prediction, diagnostic purpose. Majority we are using Python, but some of us also using PySpark or Hive. Thank you. This is from me, and the presentation will continue to Miss Dia.
Okay, thank you, Dewi and Anna, for the presentation. Hello, everyone. Can you hear my voice clearly? Okay, I think all of you can hear my voice. Thank you for the opportunity. Okay, previously we have heard about the data acquisition process in BPS, and now I would like to present what we have done so far regarding big data analytics at BPS. Actually, we are not only exploring big data for SDGs, but also conducting some data analytics to support official statistics. So here is an overview of some initiative at BPS using big data that we have acquired. First, we utilize MPD to support tourism statistics, commuter statistics, and metropolitan statistical areas, like previously also explained by Dewi. We also utilize satellite imagery for agriculture statistics, and also capturing economic activity and poverty mapping together with the Facebook Relative Wealth Index, which later becomes a potential source for SDGs indicators. It's also already explained previously by Anna. And from web crawling, we acquired several data sources that we analyze every month as some monthly reports for high-level stakeholders. So we report occupancy rates from online accommodation booking website. We also report Google and Facebook mobility to capture people activity in a month, and also the number of flights from the flight tracker website. Also, we capture the stock market, the number of supplies from the online properties and automotive commerce, also the number of vacancies from online job vacancy website. So we conduct this report every month, and we submit it and share to the high level stakeholder. Next slide, please. Okay, this is some stakeholder or subject matter that we collaborate with. So we do collaboration with other subject matters in BPS to provide big data analysis that supports the official statistic that they produce. Here are some subject matter we collaborate with. First one is national accounts, and then tourism statistic division, and then manpower statistic division, price statistics division, and ICT statistic division. We also collaborate with other ministry to conduct some indicator or some prediction about the sectoral statistics like Ministry of Tourism and Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Next, please. Okay, so here is the detail for MPD, mobile positioning data used in BPS-Statistics Indonesia. Actually, BPS already had a Memorandum of Understanding or MOU with one of the biggest providers since 2018. And at the beginning, the MPD processing have implemented a hashing procedure to guarantee the anonymity of the subscriber identification in Indonesia. The data we have regarding MPD so far are a BTS location, which is longitude and latitude, time and sources, signaling or CDR stands for call detail records, which is not the actual location of every subscriber. Now, the application of the MPD data are for needs of international visitors, domestic tourists, and mobility between region statistics. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you. So the following is an example of MPD implementation. We can track the mobility of travelers or tourists from where they come from. Like here in the left side, you can see countries, the origin countries of the travelers or tourists who comes to Indonesia, and then which entry points they take in the middle one, and the right one is where they are headed or their destination in Indonesia. So this is an example of the MPD implementation or analytics in BPS. Thank you. Next slide, please. So here is some examples of the analysis that we produce. So we utilize big data to support official statistics. We found here, as you can see in the slides, we find that the GMI pattern, GMI is Google Mobility Index. The GMI pattern is relatively similar to GDP growth. In the left figure is GMI pattern and also GDP growth. It has a similar pattern, which indicates that GMI may capture economic activities in society, because GMI capture activity in the society in some places like groceries, and then a transit point like airports and station, and then recreation place, mall, etc. So maybe it can capture the economic activities in the society, and we try to combine, or we try to see the pattern of GMI and the GDP growth, and we see the similarity of these two patterns. So we can maybe in the future we can use GMI to predict the GDP. We also find in the right figure here, we also find that job vacancy has the opposite trend with unemployment rates. It may indicate that the more job vacancies, so the more demand regarding the manpower. That's why the more people are getting jobs and the lower unemployment will be. So it also can be used further to predict the unemployment rates. Thank you. Next slide, please. Actually, it is similar to the previous slides. In general, big data indicators like GMI, number of lights, number of car sales in a website, and occupancy rates from online booking website. We also conduct indicators from online booking website. We conduct occupancy rate from that website to confirm as a confirmatory indicator to the official one, and then yeah, all of the indicator here show patterns that are in line with the direction of Indonesia's economic growth. So we can conclude, or we can utilize these indicators, big data indicators, as a confirmatory indicators for the official statistic, especially here is GDP growth. Next slide, please. We also analyze big data to predict inflation, especially for inflation in food category and also transportation category. So we utilize the commodity prices from e-commerce to predict inflation for the food category. And the right side, we utilize the train and flight ticket prices to predict inflation in the transportation category. So let me show you. Sorry, it's still in Bahasa, I think. Okay, next slide. Here is another analysis what we have done so far. We do occupation rate modeling. So we predict occupation rates from online booking data, Google Trends, and the number of flights using machine learning algorithm. And we have explored for 7 provinces so far, for Yogyakarta, Central Java, West Nusa Tenggara, East Nusa Tenggara, North Sumatra, Bali, and North Sulawesi. And further, we will expand to other provinces. And it is monthly updated, and we use the prediction as a confirmatory indicator for the official occupancy rate. From the result, we can see that the trend or the estimation, the prediction of the models have a similar pattern with the official one. So it can be used as a confirmatory indicator for official occupancy rates. Next slide, please. Okay, we also write some articles on big data. Here we discuss issues that rise every month and write like thematic analysis regarding the issues that rise on that month and put that into articles. Actually, it's still in Bahasa and can be accessed, and you can access in this link. This is the website that we create to upload our results regarding big data articles and publication. Next slide, please. Here is the latest big data analysis we've done. Like previously stated by Anna, we already exploring satellite imagery, especially nighttime lights, for poverty mapping. So here we try to estimate the percentage of per families in the village level using nighttime light imagery. Here the model gives good results for some provinces, like in this slide. This is the special region of Yogyakarta province that give a good prediction of poverty, but actually for some provinces give a result that not as good as this one. So we can conclude that the characteristic of every province matter and it can affect the result of the model. So not every province give the good result, but in this slide I show you one of the province that the best give a good result of the prediction using satellite imagery, and we are still exploring to get a better modeling and better prediction for the poverty mapping uses using satellite imagery. Next slide, please. So this is an analysis that we did at the beginning of the pandemic. We tried to capture Indonesia's economy using big data. Here we try to analyze the COVID stringency index effect to the economy. The left figure, we can see here the COVID stringency index, which described with the yellow point, has a tendency to lead deep recession in some countries, such as India here, with a high restriction policy, is recorded to experience a deeper recession than Indonesia, which implemented a moderate restriction policy. So the higher the restriction, the deeper the recession in some countries based on this data. And on the other hand, in the right figure, we can see that Indonesia's economic growth seems to have a pattern that is in line with the Google Mobility Index. So the black line is Google Mobility Index, and the red lines is GDP growth. Next slide, please. We also capture the economy using Google Trend or Google search in Google search regarding hotel, lodging, and restaurants to see the pattern. Is it have a similar pattern with GDP or not? And we can see here that the Google search for hotel, lodging, and restaurant seems to be in line with GDP for hotel and restaurant expenditure. So we can see in the beginning of COVID-19, there is a decrease in expenditure of hotel and restaurant in Indonesia. Next slide, please. And for the tourism statistics, we also utilize the number of flights as a confirmatory indicator for flight passenger. In the left figure, it is the number of flights that we obtain from flight tracker website, and the right figure is number of passenger, which is officially published by BPS. So it has a similar pattern. So the flight number, the number of flights have a similar pattern with the number of passengers. So we can utilize this big data indicator to support or to confirm the official statistic that we publish in BPS. Next slide, please. This one is regarding the tourism aspect. We utilize big data to produce a tourism competitiveness index for the top 5 priority provinces. We use Facebook Mobility, Google Mobility, Flight Tracker, and Agoda Price, and also Agoda Occupancy and Google Trend as a composing variables for the index. So we can see the competitiveness index regarding to tourism for each province, and we can conduct like a policy that can increase the competitiveness of index, tourism index of each province. Next slide, please. So these are publications that we have produced in the last 2 years. They are published on the BPS website, but still in Bahasa. Here we make studies regarding big data to capture recovery from COVID-19 in the left on the left one, to conduct leading indicator for inflation and to capture stock market, and the last one is regarding nighttime light for poverty mapping. Next slide, please. These are also our publication. These are big data as a supplement for socioeconomic indicators, and the right ones are big data to capture socioeconomic aspect in pandemic era in BPS. All of this can be seen on our website at bps.go.id. Next. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you for the opportunity. I give the screen back to the Secretariat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, colleagues from BPS-Statistics Indonesia. I think now we are invite question or comment or feedback from participants. I see none. Or maybe I have one question based on the presentation. It's always like you mentioned the use of the big data is to produce confirmation indicator to confirm the official indicators that published by BPS. Is there any indicators that are currently produced by BPS Statistics that only using the big data?
Okay, thank you for the question. I think your question is about are we use big data as official statistic or not? Yes.
First, yes, and then because based on your presentation, it's like there are indicators already published by BPS, and then the use of big data only to compare and confirming the pattern. Is there any indicators that currently solely use the big data as the data source?
Okay. For now, big data are still used for confirmatory or supporting the official statistic, but we are currently exploring the big data source that we have obtained so far, like satellite imagery and also MPD. So in the future, we also want these variables or these indicators can be used as official statistic, but I think it takes time because we are exploring about the data governance also and the quality, and it's not as easy as make big data as it's not as easy as using big data as confirmatory, because we need to check the quality of big data first, so we can confidence to officially publish big data as official statistics. So we are going there now, and we hope we can publish big data as official statistic in the future. Thank you. I think that's my answer. Maybe my colleagues want to add some explanation.
Enough, Mbak Adi.
Thank you, Dia. I think there is one question in the chat box. The findings for tourism data, which mentioned before, was interesting. Most Malaysian visit Sumatra. Could you explain the methodology of that survey and the impact of that findings?
So actually, we are not use any survey to track the tourism data that we already share before in the slide. We use MPD data to track the tourism. So from MPD we can see the position of people, where are they now, and where they are going to go. We can track from MPD data. I hope it can help.
I think to add is it's using the mobile phones data. So once Malaysia coming to Indonesia and then they turn on their mobile phones, it can be detected. And then the BPS-Statistics Indonesia get the data from the telecom company.
Yes, correct. And the impact of that findings, I think it will be an important insights for our government to increase the potential of the tourism spot or tourism places in Indonesia. I think regarding the place that mostly visited by the tourists. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Dia. Any more question? It was impressive on how Indonesia team works to get data. Very good job. Congratulations, Indonesia.
Thank you.
If no more question, maybe I have another one. In the previous presentation, I think by Miss Anna, there are some the possible data sources related to SDG monitoring, SDG indicators. Is there any, do BPS already trying to do some of the possible sources to support the SDG indicators from Indonesia?
Okay, thank you for the question. Actually, I have already present in my presentation. We are exploring regarding to satellite imagery to measure poverty in village level. That's one of the implementation or exploration regarding the utilization big data for SDGs. Yeah.
Okay,
and
but,
also for agricultural statistics to predict the crop statistics. Yeah.
So, yeah, but for now it's only in the step of exploration, not to be used as official statistic yet.
Yes.
Thank you, and noted. Any other question? No? No more question? Or any other countries who has any experiences related to use of big data for SDG monitoring? Maybe you can share also your experiences. No? Or maybe Malaysia, do you have any experiences related to using of big data? Because as mentioned by Pak Ana earlier, Malaysia and Indonesia is our lead country for the big data initiatives under ASEANstats activities. So maybe you can share also an experience related to big data. I see no response so far. Or is there any interested participant to learn more on this big data initiative? The presentation today is kind of introduction part. Is there any participant who interested to really learn on the technical things? Do we need to conduct another session for the technical ones? Or for now, is it okay to just yes, I see has a raised hand from Sometia Boy, please.
Yes, my name is Sometia. I'm from Cambodia, and currently I'm was nominated as a focal point for the working with the statistics for big data. As I see this morning presentation is very important that currently we also have the pilot project with the statistics on the tourism. Currently, by the learning from the start from the course that provided by Statistics ASEAN, we are able to collect the web scraping from the website on the tourism. And as you have just mentioned, do we need the training or capacity building on the programming that are raised by the presenter on Python, on Hadoop. That is very new for us that we need the training from the, especially from the Statistics ASEAN. Yes, this is what we are interested in. Thank you. You got my point?
Correct me if I'm wrong. I will try to summarize your point. So you are involving in the pilot project on big data. Is it the one the activities under WUDSA activities?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then you are currently working for the pilot project on tourism statistics. And,
yes, ma'am.
And then what you'd like to raise is, do you need further assistance?
Yes, you have just mentioned regarding to the capacity building on the how to collect data on big data. That is very new for us, as I have mentioned on Python language, to how to use the Python language to scraping data from the website. And Hadoop that you have just mentioned in the presentation. And you also have just raised the ASEAN member state. Do you need the capacity building? Yes, this is what we need. Okay.
Okay, sir, we noted your request, but then we will discuss internally on or bilaterally with Indonesia how to support you on this request, whether through this working group or through the WDSA activities, because as far as my understanding, the project, the pilot study that you mentioned is related to the pilot project activity that currently actually under WDSA activity. So we will discuss it first, including with BPS as the lead country and Malaysia as well. And then we will get back to you how we can support you. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sometia Boy. Any other question? Any other comment, feedback, or sharing experiences from other country? Okay, my last question then. Do the working group on SDGs need further follow-up session on this use of the big data for SDGI monitoring? If no response, then I can take it as a no. So maybe for now, that's all. It's a wrap for our sharing session on the use of big data for SDGI monitoring. And ASEAN Secretariat would like to thank again BPS-Statistics Indonesia for your sharing. Okay, while I'm trying to summarize, there is another question in the chat box. While compiling data for partner, do you cross-check with population census data 2020?
It depends on the data we obtain. Actually, we compare the data source from big data with the related official statistic. Like as an example, occupancy rates. So we obtain data from online booking website, and then we compare with the related official statistic, which is occupancy rate. So not all the data we cross-check with population census data, because it depends on the characteristic of the data, I think. Not all can be compared with census population data.
Is it okay with Malaysia? Or is there any further question?
Farda, I have one question.
Please, Pana.
Yeah, to Indonesia and to other countries, if available, is there any experience in utilizing social media in this case? If there is, please could you tell us, and for what indicator? Thank you.
Okay, I'll try to answer the question, Pak. We also collect data from social media, but right now it's for the use of social media is have two different purpose. From one set, the deadline, the cut point is the release data. So before the release data, we collect the data to estimate or to to compare the data from big data with the data that calculate from official statistic of survey or census. So before the release, we collect the social media data such as from online news or from Twitter, YouTube, is for compare the data with official statistic. But after the release data, we also collect the text or the comment or the release data for feedback. What is the responses, like how the sentiment analysis from the citizen with the data that released by BPS, or we show how the people who most have influence to spread the data that BPS release, such as SNA. Then we make SNA cluster, sentiment analysis, the social media for the feedback that for know the citizens' response regarding the data that BPS release.
One additional questions. So when you mentioned that big data is being used to support official statistics, it can be both ways. Yeah, one is to confirm the indicators that was officially released, and then another purpose is as how to say, as a leading indicator, maybe to predict the indicators that are not released yet. Is it like that, or?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Pana and Mbak Dewi. My last question again. Is there any other question, comment, feedback, input? Okay, I see none. So I think that's all for our today's session. And thank you to BPS-Statistics Indonesia team for your sharing today. And thank you to other participants from all IMS for your time and to join our session today. And then hopefully we will have another activities under ASEAN Help ASEAN framework in the future. ASEANstats is still currently trying to arrange the sharing session, and we will inform you through email. So thank you again. Stay healthy, stay safe, and stay happy. Good morning, everyone, and have a nice day ahead.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mbak Ana, Mbak Dian, Mbak Dewi.
Thank you, Pak Anand.
Thank you, Pak Anand.